Hello everybody, it's Megalithic here, otherwise known as Pablo Escobar, and you join us here today at the Sandy Shores airstrip where we're putting a few cars through a few tests, and as chance would have it, I happen to cycle through my weapons here for no reason whatsoever, and that really is a rather strange coincidence, as you will come to see. Now, my good friend Mr. Raccoon is up there, and as you can see on the mini-map, he's all on his own, ladies and gentlemen. There's no one around him, he's just testing out the Tesseract, and then he comes on back down to where I am, and we drive off to go and call in another vehicle so we can continue our test, don't you know, ladies and gentlemen. But as we head on up the road where Mr. Raccoon just was, we come across a number of players sat at the side of the road here, sort of 2 or 3 players, don't you know, and that really is rather unusual, but my good friend Mr. Raccoon assures me they shall present us with no problem, and so I decide why not go along with that notion, you know, we'll carry on with that test, and so I go ahead and I call in my next vehicle, and there we go, it's the Ocelot XA21, ladies and gentlemen, and on my way back down I take good care to avoid the gentleman as not wishing to instigate any kind of a firefight. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we have the Bison Neo, one of the latest cars in the game, up against the XA21, the Ocelot XA21, and here we go, let's have a look at what happens here, shall we, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we're not running these tests for any particular video, we just run these sort of tests from time to time, just so we can get an idea of how these cars handle and what their performance is, and as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the Ocelot XA21, one of my personal favourite cars, did get away, did sort of lose it down there against the Neo, but it's actually holding its own, and now it's bloody hell no, don't tell me, right, sodding Raccoon. Okie dokie, so yes, it does look like the Visor Neo beats out the XA21, but of course we'll need to read this test a couple of times just to make sure that we're correct, and what we haven't realised, ladies and gentlemen, is those green blips are now closing on us, and we haven't paid any attention to that, and that's going to cost us rather heavily, don't you know. Yeah, so we're getting down to the straight, and there goes Mr. Raccoon in a ball of flames, and there I go, following him, and unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, some people have just instigated a firefight with us, and that really is rather unfortunate, you know. We're just trying to have a peaceful time here, ladies and gentlemen, at the track, get some tests done and whatnot, and we've just been attacked for absolutely no reason. And so, okay, here comes one of the gentlemen whizzing over in one of his vehicles, not entirely sure of intentions, but he's with that group that's just attacked us, so I'm going to assume it's hostile, and there we go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and that's pretty much that. Okay, heading away. Still not sure at this point if we're actually seriously being engaged in a firefight or if it's just a one-off thing, so I'm calling in my my Ocelot to hopefully get it repaired and whatnot, and hoping that we can carry on. But as you can see, there are some oppressors flying around in the sky there, and unfortunately that does sort of indicate that yes, these gentlemen do wish to engage us in an extended firefight, and that really is most frustrating, ladies and gentlemen. All we're looking to do this evening is to go ahead and test some cars. Okie dokie, so here we go. Now, I do believe that's the gentleman that took me down, don't you know, with the oppressor. So okay, he's over there. Keep bloody well missing him, don't I? Right, okay, missed again. Right, okay, there he, right, he's in the bush. And there we go. Okay, jolly good. Take you down as well, sunshine. Rightio. Okay, now there we go. Gonna head back onto the airfield, don't you know, ladies and gentlemen? Like I say, not really. We really just want to get on with our test, but these gentlemen do seem to insist on fighting us, and there we go. There's another one. Okie dokie. We're not messing around, ladies and gentlemen. It's quite clear that these people are trying to get in, trying to grief us, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna have to defend ourselves, and yes, I get shot, and it's by the blasted Raccoon. And that's the Brombies. You can see if you look at how his name's spelt there, that's Mr. Raccoon. He does have his own channel, so why not go and check that out? Okie dokie, yes, and I say, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Now he's doing with my associate, Mr. Raccoon. They're doing rather a good job of capping 1 or 2 of these people. You know, I'm managing to sneak off 1 or 2 myself as well. But they do seem to persisting on attacking us here, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got little choice, like I say, but to defend ourselves. And currently I'm going at it with a explosive sniper rifle, don't you know, a rather easy way, you know, a rather noob weapon, but I just want to bring an end to this, you know, as quickly as possible and get on with some testing, and unfortunately I've come under attack from the side now, and I'm going to have to switch positions, and there we go. Right, really shouldn't be using this weapon at this kind of range, you know, in this kind of firefight, but there we go, managed to strafe and stay alive, but unfortunately his friend's coming over, I can see on the minimap there, so I'm going to take some snacks, and with a little bit of luck I'll be able to get him too. Right, okay, he's behind that wall, and right, bloody hell, right, no. Right, okay, swine shot me down, don't you know, ladies and gentlemen, that sort of thing's bound to happen. Okay, respawn, I'm heading back on all the way down here now to where Mr. Raccoon is taking shelter behind this rock here, and the gentlemen are over there, don't you know, they're continuing on this with this firefight, and so we're going to have to just try and drive them off, you know. We want to use this track for an extended period, we don't want people griefing us, and Right, okay, there we go. Right, have you seen them off? I think they've started to think twice about it. You know, the sort of frequency of their attacks is becoming less and less regular. Right, okie dokie, there we go. And unfortunately, the police have been sort of attracted by the gunfire and whatnot. That really does make things rather more difficult than needs be, to be quite frank with you. There we go. Right, okie dokie. Someone else died there, didn't they? Okay. Right, and throwing out grenades is absolutely no good whatsoever. Right, now I'm waiting here to get killed by the cops, you know, so I don't have to worry about the stars and I get my health replenished. And that really is a rather silly thing because I am now a sitting target. Unfortunately, yes, one of their team go and blows me up, and I've only got myself to blame for that. Okay, here we go, back to the explosive sniper rifle, don't you know, ladies and gentlemen, see if we can't just find out where they are. And there's one right there, and boom, down you go, sunshine. Okay, and again, that was the gentleman, I believe, who instigated the trouble, so I have absolutely no qualms with blowing his face off. Right, okay, and there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe that at some point in the near future, then they now do call off the attack, you know, and throw a rocket out there just for giggles, really, ladies and gentlemen. Whoops, here comes one of them, and unfortunately, although that camera did cut out, I pretty much blew up his car as he ran over me, and it was kill for kill there. Okie dokie, there we go, and I can see my good friend Mr. Raccoon there has been killing people and whatnot on the kill field in the bottom left-hand corner. You can see he's doing rather a good job at it. He's capping them left, right, and centre now, isn't he? Let's be quite frank about these things. Okie dokie, and there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe, like I say, that we drive them off at some point, and there we go. Yes, they've now disbanded from their CEO or their motorbike organisation. They've gone from green blips to white blips, and that pretty much signifies the end of their assault, don't you know, ladies and gentlemen. And there we go. Apparently one of them has killed another one. So yes, I can't say I blame them, to be quite frank. It was an absolutely useless attack, you know. 3 of them, 2 of us, and yes, we're really taking them to task now, aren't we? Okay, well, there we go. Not often that happens, you know, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm going to have to go and beat up the police now. Suicide by cop, you know, so I can lose these stars and whatnot, and we can carry on with our tests. Yes, take that, copper. Right, okie dokie, and there we go, finally, jolly good. Okie dokie, so yes, we've seen off the assailants, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen off the police now, and we're going to carry on with our tests. And on this occasion, I pulled out the Ocelot Pariah, and now we're going to establish if the Ocelot Pariah is how that handles against the Visor Neo, ladies and gentlemen. Now, of course, the XA21 of another Ocelot, and far more expensive, can't beat it, but what the bloody hell do we see here, ladies and gentlemen? The Pariah, which is significantly cheaper, is actually coming past it, you know. Came past it on the up straight, round the corner there, and it's holding it back down the back straight. Right, that's very, very close indeed, but that Neo is lurching into the lead there. But it has to be said, ladies and gentlemen, that is a much closer race than the XA21, and that really is quite surprising. You know, this Ocelot Pariah really is a remarkable vehicle, you know. Okay, well, like I say, we're doing these tests, and we've sort of done one there. We want to keep on doing them, make sure we got consistent results, ladies and gentlemen, and we are not aware that pink blip has just appeared behind us. And once again, our that sort of neglect really is going to cost us quite highly, don't you know? So yes, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the Ocelot Pariah against the Visor Neo. We're sending it on down the track, and very much the same as before, ladies and gentlemen. The Neo gets into the lead there straight away, and no, the Ocelot Pariah does want to claw it back, ladies and gentlemen, down that straight. My word, look at that, you know, really has got fantastic acceleration, and unfortunately I go off the track, don't you know? That's right, I fell off. Right, okay, well, never mind, and of course that's going to put the Neo all the way down the track, and Mr. Raccoon's not hanging around. He's going to go back down and start again, don't you know? And he goes back down, and he discovers that yes, we do now have other players waiting for us, and unfortunately things aren't going to go particularly well, ladies and gentlemen. We've already started to come under some gunfire, and yes, there we go. Now he's been killed. I've got to try and take cover and get out my vehicle as soon as possible, but unfortunately I don't get out quick enough, and now we're being trolled by more people on oppressors, don't you know, ladies and gentlemen. And this really is well, this is the second time now. Like I said, we're just trying to get these tests done and whatnot, and you can see they're flying around the sky there like fireflies. Okay, and there is a random gentleman here on neither side, neither my friend or on their side. He seems to be engaging in the firefight. That's only going to serve to aid us, and unfortunately I was aiming at the oppressor. Now I'm engaged in a firefight, and The up and atomizer really is not the weapon to do that with, and so I'm going to throw a grenade, which is absolutely useless, and I take a laser to the face, don't you know. Okay, well, I'm back on the ground now, so I'm coming to me an oppressor. Now, of course, the solution to the oppressor, the antidote is the up and atomizer, and there we go. Using it correctly, we can shoot them off the oppressor in the sky, and then gun them down on the ground, and that's exactly what I've done. Okay, now I'm going to go and try to hop on his oppressor, you know, ladies and gentlemen. It sort of takes a moment before I realise, no, he must have it locked, and so I go in there. I'm not going to go destroy it. I'm going to drop his proxy mine. Now, hopefully he won't be able to call it in because he'll be so close to it. He'll have to run across to it, and when he gets there, he'll be killed. But no, he just turns up and shoots me in the head. Okie dokie, rather disappointing that, ladies and gentlemen, you know. Okie, but then, man, okay, now here we have the original gentleman who instigated the whole conflict, you know, and he's running across the hilltop there, and I'm trying to get a shot at him with my explosive sniper, and I get him, you know. But unfortunately, it does not take him down. He obviously has a high health and a sort of presumably armor on and such forth, and I haven't got him, and now I keep on missing him, and I have not realized my bullets have just run out, and though I've got a dead shot on him, I've got no bullets left, and so that's rather unfortunate, and now I'm going to have to go to a standard sniper, and this will require me being far more accurate, don't you know. Okie dokie, keep missing him and finally get him through their head, and there we go. Okay, jolly good, down you go, sunshine. Now, of course, once again, the police are after me. They've attracted the attentions of the law enforcement, so I'm going to have to go and take some cover, ladies and gentlemen, trying to hide from both those and the assailing players. Okie dokie, and obviously they're not going to just stop her from the one side, they're coming from both, so I'm going to have to deal with these gentlemen here, and there we go. Okie dokie, not going to mess around. Take a rocket up the Jaxie. Right, okay, there we go. Jolly good and all that, ladies and gentlemen. Right, okay, now my good friend Mr. Raccoon, he is continuing to engage them in a firefight there, but they are pretty much about ready to bug out too, don't you know, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and I do, in fact, that was not Mr. Bromley just killed someone who wasn't actually, wasn't part of their team, but during the interim, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that they have pretty much bugged out, and so now I'm going to, suicide by cop, and there we go, no more stars, jolly good. Right, okay, now, there we go, and police helicopters, how about that? Sort of shades of Vietnam there, isn't there? Right, okay, there we go, it seems to have quietened down, I respawn and whatnot, I've got to head all the way over to Mr. Raccoon here now, and he informs me that indeed they have bugged out, and I go and check, and indeed, yes, one of them has gone into passive, and that gentleman, the other gentleman, then shortly logs out and disappears. Okay, so yes, now it's time to carry on back on with our testing, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what we're going to do. We've seen off two lots of assailants, called in my pariah, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to give it another go, don't you know? Okay, and the spawn inside the hangar, rather interesting, that isn't it? I haven't seen that before. Okay, so we want to know, ladies and gentlemen, can the pariah, given it so fast, beat the GTO? I've seen videos where it seems that it can, or at least it can stand in sort of contention with it, but we're about to put it around ourselves to see what happens, and look at that, ladies and gentlemen, there is no question, the pariah is catching the GTO, my good God, what on earth are Rockstar doing? But when we go around the corner, yes, okay, the GTO tends to do what the GTO tends to do, and it just sort of goes off, but how about that, ladies and gentlemen? If you look, yes, we are definitely catching it, my good God, how about that? This Ocelot Pariah really is a very, very fascinating car, you know. For the money, its handling and whatnot, it's absolutely fantastic. Again, now we're just going to check that it was not my driving or whatnot, or whatnot, give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to open his door and try and slow him down now. Haha, Mr. Raccoon, take that. Right, okay, so yes, we're going to put me in the GTO now, and Mr. Raccoon in the Pariah, and see if with a better driver, if the Pariah can actually take the GTO. Okay, I'm heading on down the straight here, and right, okay, seems to be pretty much the same as before, to be quite frank with you. He is catching me, but not enough, and right, okay, at the corner, he's gone a little bit quiet, hasn't he? Okay, Kogan coming down the home straight, where is he? Okay, he's significantly far behind me, but he did take a rather shockingly bad corner for a Raccoon there. Okay, well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've done this test a number of times, you know, and we come across the conclusion that it's very, very close, and in the right circumstances, the Pariah can actually beat the GTO, but not really, not as it were in the real world. And we head off our different ways, yes, to call in our mechanic. or rather to call in new vehicles, I should say. You can see that gentleman who instigated the attack with us on the mini-map is still sat there in passive mode doing absolutely nothing. Okay, so yes, we've headed off our different directions now, ladies and gentlemen, to call in respective cars, and there we go. Right, jolly good. Now we're going to put the FMJ up against the Zentorno, ladies and gentlemen, and like I say, this is generally what we do. We are either selling, we're either gambling in the casino, we're selling drugs, ladies and gentlemen, or we're down here at the test track trying to work out which car beats which car. Okie dokie, now we put the Zentorno up against the FMJ there, and yes, as you may have seen, Mr. Raccoon's having now rather a jolly time of it, driving over me in his Weenie Issy Sports. Okay, and as you can see, he really is rather persistent. Okay, there we go, and jolly good, right? Okay, we're back here. Now we want to find out if the FMJ can beat the Weenie Issy Sports. We've tried it in the rain. It couldn't beat it. That is to say, ladies and gentlemen, in the rain, the Weenie Issy Sports beat the FMJ. And now we're going to test it in the dry, don't you know? Unfortunately, we didn't get any footage of the Weenie Issy winning in the rain, and that really is rather a rotten shame. So, okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have the FMJ up against the Zentorno again, ladies and gentlemen. Can't imagine why we've done that. I think it's because we wasn't entirely certain what had been recorded and what hadn't. Okay then, ladies and gentlemen, what you're getting to see here is $1,750,000 up against $725,000, ladies and gentlemen, and that really is absolutely shocking, isn't it? Okie dokie, now of course we go ahead and put the FMJ up against the Garotti, as you may have seen on previous videos, and there's absolutely no surprise with regard to the results there, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, the Garotti is going to absolutely destroy it. If the FMJ can't beat the Zentorno, it's certainly not going to beat the GTO there, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what we're seeing. And as we're going down the home straight here, we see a gentleman join us on a motorbike, and we don't think much of it, you know, but unfortunately that does sort of indicate that we're about to come under another attack, and we're not currently aware of that. He seems quite placid at this point in time, driving around on his motorbike and not causing us much grief. So we're not really too concerned about it. We're going to head on down the track now and get rid of. We're going to put the FMJ up against that Weenie, you know. And so my friend's got off the call and whatnot, and here we go. And jolly good, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're on the starting line, ladies and gentlemen. Like I say, this is what was going on here, and we're driving down here, getting, and you can see that Weenie's leapt into the lead there, and then I suddenly come flying past him. I haven't spotted the gentleman beside the track. I asked my friend, why on earth did he stop and all that sort of business? Discovered the res, you know, and I go back and I discovered the rather grim truth that he's been shot through the back of the head. Sort of JFK'd him there, really, didn't he? Right, okie dokie, rather not good, and I'm sat there, bloody hell, yes, I sat there waiting, and the swine takes me out, bullet to the face, okie dokie. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that really is absolutely unchivalrous behaviour, and there's only one way to deal with it, so I'm going to mow him down with the car and then blow his face off. Right, here we go, rather shocking, ladies and gentlemen, that this is now the third time this evening, in a very short period of time, in basically a period of about an hour or so, that we've come under attack from different groups of people. I can't imagine why. Now, this gentleman, I've got no idea of his intentions, but we're not hanging around. He's on the line there, but we're not interested. We can't be certain if he's with that other chap or not. We've been having a lot of grief, and so just shoot at him and get him the hell out of here. Right, okay, and then we're going to carry on and try with our particular with our different tests here, ladies and gentlemen. As we're going on down the track, you know, Mr. Raccoon decides that the gentleman's still there and he's going to squish him, and that's exactly what he does. And who can blame him, to be quite frank with you? Like I say, tonight does seem to be a night of unbroken hostility, you know? Okie dokie, and now you can see down the track there, Mr. Raccoon's driven off, and now he's trying to run over the gentleman who's hanging around at the corner there. And there we go, he got him, cost him his own life, you know, but he finally took him out. Okie dokie, and there we go. We have to wait for him to respawn, and there he is behind us, ladies and gentlemen, on the mini-map, and there he's coming, running across to retrieve his vehicle. Okie dokie, so like I say, ladies and gentlemen, a total of, I don't know how many people, what, 7 different individuals? 7 or more, maybe, really, depending on how you wish to look at it, ladies and gentlemen, have been trying to attack us this evening. It really is absolutely shocking behaviour when all we're trying to do is drive in a circle, you know, ladies and gentlemen, not interfering with anyone whatsoever. And we finally put the Issy Sports up against the FMJ, and unfortunately in the dry, yes, well, rather fortunately, one should say, yes, the $1,750,000 car beats the Weenie Issy Sports, and one would expect it. And once again, Mr. Raccoon goes off. I wonder what on earth is he doing? And look, he's blowing up people with sticky bombs. And of course, that's that same gentleman who instigated the combat with us, you know. So you can't blame him, you know. The gentleman's only getting what he asked for. Right, okay, just going up there to check out what he was doing, really. As I come back on down the street, the gentleman has respawned. They're getting out a grenade to see if I can't get a shot at him, and there's no need, because Mr. Raccoon really is quite vengeful at this point. You know, he's full of bloodlust, and he just wants to absolutely murder the gentleman. That's what he continues to do. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, well, there we go. You know, that's pretty much it. We are, like I say, we're on here for about an hour. We got attacked by I don't know how many different people. 3 different groups of people, about 7 people. Really absolutely shocking, ladies and gentlemen. But we're now going to ignore the sort of petty attacks of that gentleman at the side of the road, and we're going to carry on and go do our test. And like I say, this is the FMJ at $1,750,000 up against the Weenie NC Sports, well under $1 million. And as you can see down the back straight there, ladies and gentlemen, that's not what you would expect to see. Yeah, so should you buy the Vapid FMJ? No, I wouldn't bloody say so, not at all. Right, okay, well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. A rather shocking night down at the racetrack, you know. A lot of hostility and everything. We saw them off in the end, but it really wasn't necessary. But at least there's no more getting blown up or killed now, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, unless you're playing with Mr. Raccoon, in which case he'll simply delight in murdering you at every chance he possibly gets. Anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed this video, ladies and gentlemen. As always, thank you for watching.